The X-47B prototype attack drone made a sweeping turn, only minutes away from the target 80 miles northwest of the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel. Frederick Weddell adjusted the frequency-hopping algorithm of the jamming transmission. His mission was to block the control signal coming in from the drone's operator at Naval Base Ventura County in California and recode its onboard navigation system, causing the aircraft and its 1,000 pounds of fuel to smash into a derelict barge. Even without the 2 smart bombs it was capable of carrying, the drone could cause a deadly terrorist attack on the U.S. Weddell relished the challenge. "We're gonna do it," he said to no one in particular, although there were 2 other men in the small room filled to the brim with electronic equipment and displays. The 80-foot communications vessel anchored near the mouth of the Potomac was otherwise unoccupied, except for its captain, who was topside on the bridge. Weddell adjusted his wire-framed glasses and looked up at the largest monitor to check the view from a camera on the deck. The drone was in its first turn after takeoff, a white wedge against the orange glow of dusk behind it. To accomplish their mission, jamming the control signal wasn't enough. If the drone's contact with its controller was lost, it would revert to autonomous mode and return to its base at Naval Air Station Patuxent River, the Maryland flight center that served as the test facility for most of the Navy's aerial weapons systems. The key was to establish a new control authorization so that the coordinates for an alternative target designation could be loaded. In this case, the unmanned aerial vehicle would be instructed to crash into the barge at 500 miles per hour. This attack was the worst-case scenario for the Pentagon. No one, not the drone designers nor the Joint Chiefs, thought that the onboard systems could be hacked. But ever since a top-secret RQ-170 Sentinel reconnaissance drone crash-landed in Iran, top brass had demanded that the Air Force and Navy prove that their communications protocols were unbreakable. Apart from losing a drone that cost hundreds of millions of dollars to build, the crash had given Iran a free peek inside one of America's most advanced pieces of technology. If the Iranians could bring it down, they might be able to wrest a drone's control away from its operator. The military was pouring funds into a program to make sure that never happened. That was the reason for this hijacking simulation. The call had gone out for the best and brightest in the drone community to put together a team to serve as the enemy infiltration unit. An electrical engineer by education, and now the Air Force's top communications specialist, Weddell had jumped at the chance. He was an expert in all manner of signal transmission, encryption, and disruption, so he was chosen to head up the signal intercept mission. His team consisted of 2 other top-notch scientists. Lawrence Kensett, a mousy fellow with a stooped gait and an acne-scarred face, was a computer scientist and physicist who had gotten his Ph.D. from Caltech when he was 20. Despite his penchant for calling anyone he felt didn't rise to his level of brilliance irredeemably stupid, including officers who depended on his work, he nevertheless became the military's most brilliant drone software developer. He sat to Weddell's right, tapping away on a keyboard set in front of 3 screens, winking with data. The second man was Douglas Pearson, a hardware designer responsible for the technology that went into the most advanced drones in the military's arsenal. He was a bear of a man whose bombastic voice and enormous gut suited someone who didn't say no too much and wasn't used to hearing the word either. He ruled his fiefdom with an iron fist and would argue loudly with anyone who disagreed with his viewpoint. He sat to Weddell's left with his feet up on the counter, a tablet computer in one hand and a coffee mug in the other. If the 3 of them couldn't crack the drone's command system, no one else in the world could. After confirming that the drone would in fact proceed on an intercept path toward the derelict barge, Weddell planned to veer it from its course and have it waggle its wings over Patuxent in a final flourish before returning it to Ventura Control.